Steve Poland here, and I'm down in the fish room. And if you saw my video last week, you saw that I upgraded my drain lines to 2-inch drains. And when I was doing that, as a part of the process, I decided I wanted to upgrade all of my kind of systems down here in terms of how I did my maintenance. So this tank, as you can see, is a little bit dirty. And what I would have done before, it's really just a piece of tubing attached to an inline siphon that I would use, like a siphon bulb, that I would use to start a siphon and just vacuum all this out. And the other end was connected directly into my drain line. I will show you, I'll add a little video of that process so you can see what I'm talking about up in the corner here as I'm talking about it. And it was an okay process. It was hard though on these bottom tanks because they're so close to the drain level, right? They're not like way up in the air. So they would go slow, the suction wasn't great. And you may be saying, well, Steve, why don't you you've talked about them before, why don't you just use an Eheim battery vac to do this maintenance? That is one of these. I have talked about these before for sure. I love them. I use it upstairs all the time. And I'll link to this below. So one thing about that is that it doesn't take any water out. And in some situations, like upstairs, that's fine. Okay. But in these tanks down here, I want to be able to clean these bare bottom tanks. And since they're all on a drip system, they'll just top themselves off. So in fact, if I take water out, a little bit of water out, any water really, it's better because as the drip system runs and it just drips into this tank, it displaces the old water, right? And it just overflows very slowly. But it's not perfect, right? If you run a drip system, it's not like you're doing a true water change. You're doing them much more often and it's a great thing to have, but some of that new water will also overflow. So I don't mind taking water out of these at any given time. So I was trying to think about what would be the best thing that I could do to combine both of those worlds. So I was looking for a battery vacuum that actually had an output on it. And I stumbled across this product on Amazon. It's a fuel transfer pump. It's battery operated. It runs on 2 AA batteries. It's meant really for like transferring gas, I don't know, I guess into your lawnmower or something like that from the gas can, although I just pour it in. I would think maybe it's more for, if you're going to store it for the winter, moving the gas out of it since it's much harder to go that direction. Now, there are a lot of these, and this one I got on Amazon. I'm going to link to it as well. There are different types of these, but I like this one because the 2 AA batteries, a lot of them run on a couple of D batteries, and I wanted something that was nice and light, like lightweight as I'm doing this maintenance. So I got this, and I got it in, and what I did was I took this, and it comes with, I don't know if you can see here, like that's how it is. It's got this little hose on it. It's this here. I just took this off. This end comes off, no big deal. And instead, I've got a hose clamp, and then I've got 3/4 inch braided tubing, okay? And this tubing just goes straight over to my drain line. And I showed you last week that I have this attachment on here. I just did a Y fitting right to this hose quick disconnect. So I can just go like this and just pull this right off. Very easy. Put it back on. And it allows me to put multiple things on here. So I've also got this hose cart that I've shown you that I use. It's got a pump on the end that I do water changes like in the crawl space grow out. And it's got the same thing on the end. So I can just swap those back and forth, which is really nice. And this pump, it's not like a super powerful pump or anything, but it does suck the waste up pretty well with like 0 effort. And I don't have to have any effort starting a siphon. The one thing is that I wish that it kept a siphon going when you shut the power off. Like, so for instance, this, it's just, you switch it on, it's just a little switch on and off, super easy, and I'll show you here in a minute, but I wish that the siphon would keep going, honestly, but it doesn't. But it's fine, and especially for these lower tanks, it's really, it probably takes me about half to a third of the time that it used to take me to get a tank like this, just get all that waste out of there. So really excited about this. It's kind of a little bit of a specific project to me in my fish room, but I think maybe some of you could use this if you want, as opposed to just putting a hose in there, starting to siphon with your mouth or with a siphon bulb, and going from there. So let me stop talking, and I'm going to set the camera down and show you how this works. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I just run through here very quick, sucks all this waste up, very easy to do, like zero effort, just flipped on a button and it's going. Alright, now the one other thing that I wanted to show you is, so this is fine for a tank with this size fish, but what if you wanted to do this, like, say, on a fry tank? Well, just take your sponge like this, if you've got one, which I do. This is like a filter. You'd put it on the input of a filter. Just throw that on here, and let's say you're doing a fry tank. Well, you don't want them to get sucked up in there. And you just get all of your waste to suck up into this thing instead. Super easy. Alright, well, hope you guys think that's cool. I think it's cool. It's really made this maintenance take a lot less time for me. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, have a good one.